asked by several people if I wouldn't mind teaching the chords and particularly the right hand part of the song Where We Are by Mayne. It's a song I wrote with Benny and Miles Wesley, and it's basically 5 chords. It's fairly simple in that regard harmonically, but the right hand, as I kind of analyzed it and kind of decomposed it to teach it to you, I realized, oh, it's a little more involved than I thought it was. I make it look easy. It just kind of flows out of me. And so I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to break it down, and hopefully this will be easy enough to understand. But let's start with the chords first. It's a C chord, and so I'm capable with the 4th fret. For one thing, I got my G7th capo here, my Elixir strings on my Martin D35. This is a 70s Martin D35. If you've been following me for a long time, you'll notice I got the pick guard fixed. It's all smooth now. Got a new pick guard. So I'm capoed at the 4th fret. So I'm going to tell you the shapes that I'm using, and then I'm going to tell you what chords they actually are. Because you know me, I always like you to know the actual chords you're playing, not just the shapes, because I feel like that's important for understanding harmony and music theory and all that. So we're going to start out with a C shape. I'll put the diagrams up here. Nothing on the bottom string, and it's 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, 1st fret, and 3rd fret. And then we're going to go to like an E7 shape, and that's going to be 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, but then I add my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That's also E7. And then I'm going to go to an A minor shape. Okay, nothing on the bottom string, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0. Those are the fret numbers. And then I go to a bar chord. Now, bar chords are difficult. I've got a video on how to play the F chord, that darn F chord. But it's a little bit easier for 2 reasons. One, the capo's pushing the strings down to fret level. And 2, your arm is closer to your body. So I feel like it's easier to play a bar chord up here than it is down here because your hand is further from your body. So it's an F chord it's an F chord shape. And it's 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. So we have a big bar here, and then it goes to F minor. So you take off that 2nd finger and go 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. Okay? Now, I said C, E7, A minor, and F minor. But the actual names of those chords are, this is actually an E chord, because we're capoed to the 3rd fret. This is actually a G7 chord, a G sharp 7, sorry. This is C sharp minor, and this is A, and this is A minor. All right? So you don't necessarily have to, if you want to play it on piano, those are the actual chords I'm playing. Or if you want to play it in open position, you can also do that using those chord names. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the hard part, and that's the right hand. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see it, and I'm going to give you some tab and some music notation so you can kind of follow along with what I'm going to show you. Okay? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to play it just a couple times around so you can just watch my hands. You might be able to pick it up that way without having to go into great detail. And, you know, getting close is fine. The most important thing is to change chords in time, kind of keep a good groove and have a good feel. Playing exactly what I played is not necessary to get the sound, but you can, if you want to work up to that point, you totally can. I'm kind of doing a variation on a Travis pattern, which was a fingerpicking pattern that was developed by Merle Travis back in the 30s and 40s. That kind of thing. And then also kind of John Mayer's Stop the Train, Stop This Train, Stop the Train, where he's hitting the strings. Also Paul McCartney's the Beatles' Blackbird, he kind of does this little click with his index finger to kind of create a snare sound. So basically what's happening here is that I'm playing the bass, I'm playing the melody, and I'm playing the snare, and I'm playing the harmony, the chord. So it's almost like I'm playing 4 things at once. if you want to, we can start out with the very first part would be getting the bass down and the melody note. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the index finger to the third string. Okay, the second finger is going to play the second string, and the third finger is going to play the top string, the first string, and the thumb's going to be responsible for anything happening on the bottom, basically in the bottom 2 or 3 strings. We're really only playing the 5th string for C, E is on the 6th string, A minor is on the 5th string, and the F is on the 6th string. So we're only playing the bass notes on the bottom 2 strings. Okay, so here's the first part. Go ahead and make the whole chord, even though you're only playing certain strings. Go ahead and make A minor. And then I'm going to grab that 3rd string with my first finger on the F chord. But for the most part, at the first 3 chords, it's just the 2nd finger, then the 3rd finger, 2nd finger, then the 3rd finger, 2nd finger, then the 3rd finger, like that. But when we get to the F chord, I'm going to pluck the bottom string and I'm going to pluck the 3rd string with my index finger. I play F minor and do the same thing. Okay. And the next thing we want to do is try to create that snare hit. And basically what I'm doing is I'm hitting the bottom string or the bottom 2 strings, and I'm making those strings go into the frets. So that slap sound you're hearing is the sound of the string hitting the fret, not my thumb. The thumb hitting the string doesn't really make any sound. It's the string hitting the fret that's making that sound. So I can't do my thumb down. It's not really going to do it as much. It has to be basically pushing the strings into the frets. So you can practice doing that. Bass 3 or 4 C's, then go to the E. It's something that I just kind of did naturally. I didn't use this step necessarily to learn this. It just kind of happened that way. Okay, so we have C, C, snare, snare, E, snare, E, snare. Okay, now the next thing you can work on is playing the bass note and then trying to hit. I use my index finger when I do the snare hit at the same time, and this I got from John Mayer. Just practice doing that. Just make a C chord, try to get the snare hit, and then try to just kind of brush some strings. I'm really trying to get the middle 2 strings here, maybe the 4th and 3rd string. But if I hit the 2nd string or if I hit the 5th string, it doesn't really matter. It's not about precision. If you were to analyze my playing on the song, you might hear that I did 3 strings and then 2 strings, maybe 1 string. And if you were to try to exactly emulate that, you'll never get any kind of natural feel. It'll feel always like you're overthinking it. Kind of like how I'm over-explaining it. Sorry. Okay, so bass note, snare hit, and chord strum at the same time. And this alone is a good strum groove feel without the melody. I like this a lot. So this could be put to use really quite well in songs you're writing or doing arrangements of. Okay. All right, so that's the 3rd element. So we have the melody and the bass, we have the bass and the snare, and we have the bass snare chord. Okay, now the next thing we want to bring in, well now we're going to back up. We're going to get rid of the snare, and we're going to get rid of the chord, and we're going to go back to the melody. Remember that? Go ahead and make the full chord even though you're not using it. Okay, but now what we want to do is we want to make that melody note anticipate the bass note on beat 4. So it's in slow motion, it's you see that? All right, and then I really borrowed that from Merle Travis, I think. It makes it fun. That little syncopation in the melody. It gives it that Americana kind of feel. Okay, that little syncopation. So again, slow motion would be. So we're good ways into this. There's 6 elements I want to show you. Well, the 6th is the final thing. We've done the melody. Okay, we've done the bass with a snare. We've done the bass with the snare and the chord. And then we've done the syncopated melody. And if you wanted to, you could stay on one chord until you have it down. And then go to the E chord. Make it your own too, but you can stay on one chord for a while until you have it down, and then start to worry about what you're doing with the left hand. Okay, now I'm going to put all those together with the exception of one element, and we'll bring that in later. So here's the melody with the snare, the melody with the syncopation, the snare hit, and the chord hit. Do that again really slow. It's almost harder for me. Okay, the last element is I put a little, generally what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick the 3rd string with my index finger right before the snare hit on the end of beat 4. Okay, so in slow motion the C chord is like this with that one last added element, and of course I got the tab here below so you can keep tabs on that, so to speak. See that? Okay. So you can, again, just stay on the C chord or the A minor chord, whatever chord is easiest for you, and try to get all of the elements together. And that's the last thing you want to do. So the bass note, index up and index down with a snare hit. So that basically represents beat 4 of the chord. Alright, so I hope that wasn't too difficult for you. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free, I'm doing live streaming every now and then, so keep the notification thing on and you might get a heads up on that, okay? Take care, God bless you, thank you so much for watching.